What's up, everybody? I am Selema Masekela, and this is a What Shapes Us conversation with one of my dear friends and iconic photographer, Atiba Jefferson.
Selema!
Atiba, my guy.
How are you, man?
Dude, I'm well. I'm well in a wild world.
Yeah, it's crazy times we're living in right now, that's for sure.
There's something about all these different subcultures within our society that have been dealing with these layers over time, but we've never had the space to deal with them as a whole, wholly address with attention, because we've always had other things that we can be busy with.
Yeah, I mean, I think the beauty of skateboarding and, color boundaries, gender boundaries, skateboarders are oppressed people, period. It's outlawed. Society looks down on it. So in that sense, the struggle has always been there. And I think that's why the compassion, no matter what race or culture or gender that you come from, skateboarding has always been compassionate. But also, I think the amazing thing is the fact that we as a whole are coming together, and there's protests, there's this newest issue of Thrasher that I worked on, which was great because it's a whole issue celebrating Black skateboarding, and that has been done in the past, but not under this microscope of the way we're looking at things now. But all the way to, like, I have a collabo coming out with Baker of a board series that we're doing 100 of these boards. There's 4 different ones. All proceeds are going to go to a foundation supporting Black Lives Matter. Black skateboarding has been such a huge impact on me as a skater, because as a kid it was so white dominant, and it wasn't like that was an issue, but I had the guys that I looked like that I of course gravitated to: Kareem, Javante, Ray, but the crazy thing is, doing this issue of Thrasher is realizing, when I asked Sal Barbier, who did you guys look up to? Or even Marty Grimes, the first Black pro skater. They were just like, dudes you never heard of that were also Black that skated. Right now, being someone who's been in skateboarding officially for 25 years, was such an amazing project. And then you look at the new future, Ashads and Zions, and the list is so long.
It felt like it could be like a quadruple gatefold.
It is so crazy. The funniest story about that is, Tyshawn obviously being a skater of the year, I was like, I need Tyshawn,
But he's in New York.
And I was like, oh, do I fly there? And I literally was like, I'm gonna have to fly there. It wouldn't be complete without him, but that's just so much to ask someone. And he's like, I'm coming to LA. And I was like, and then I had an old photo of Kareem that was shot just in the same style. It totally could have worked, from literally 2006.
Yeah.
He doesn't really age. I'm hitting him, just checking in, because we did an interview, and he's like, yo, I'm coming to LA.
Wow.
Yeah, I shot Tyshawn and Kareem all in the same day.
You said something really that blew my mind. You talked about your 25 years officially in skateboarding, and you and I met in 1994, and we didn't meet face to face initially. We met on the phones, and I just remember the way our friendship was born on the phone, and your interest in music and etc. And it's a trip to be sitting here now with you 26 years later having this conversation.
I was so giddy that anyone from California I could talk to.
I remember.
And it was, pre-internet. So you didn't know, you only saw things from videos and magazines. That
Right.
was it.
That was it.
And for me, that phone call brought me that much closer. I mean, that was my Instagram, right? That was instant gratification.
Yeah, and in those conversations, like I would put you on to like, this is who was skating at Climax last week, and this is what the session looked like. And I talked to Grant Britton all the time, and I remember you telling me about your passion, like for photography at the time, and that it was your dream.
Yeah, and it's funny too, because I use that number to also stalk Grant. Like, it's crazy that you back then could have just called up the photo out of a big publication and be like, hey, it's Atiba. Like, I didn't have anything to say.
I used to.
Yeah, my photos, how do they look? And they sucked. I thought they were the best, but I remember Grant being like, yo, look to see if your photos match what's in the magazine, then you know you're in a good place, quality-wise. That was the best advice I ever got, probably.
Yeah.
And I really had to like check my ego and go, yeah, he's totally right.
It's funny.
Think about it. We were trying to do
a documentary
about black skateboarding then. That was what, 98, 99?
That was 98 when we were having those conversations. I was talking to someone the other day. They were like, I didn't know that you were one of the co-founders of Alphanumeric Clothing. Like, how did that start? And I said it started from a bunch of us, black people within the skateboarding community, sitting and having these conversations. We would just meet for coffee once a week about trying to do a documentary to capture this story about black influence in skateboarding. And that's how, from those conversations, is how Alphanumeric was born. And I was like, Atiba and Jefferson were there, and I was telling people, all the people that would be at these coffee meetings, and their minds are just like, wait, what do you mean?
We were a little bit younger, and we weren't, we were still really green to everything. And I look back at being a part of those conversations and those meetings and being like, feeling very special and included in something. And that's the thing. This is a story that I've been telling since I came into skateboarding because I'm a part of this story.
Your career, getting to watch it for these last 2 decades plus has been fascinating for a lot of reasons.
Yeah, I honestly didn't even think I would be here now. So for me, I'm like,
tell me about your first Lollapalooza experience.
Oh, I mean, it was so funny. Lollapalooza was coming around. Me and my brother were prep cooks at this Mexican restaurant. And we worked from 6 a.m. to 11 a.m. every day for a summer, every single day. And I was like, there's this festival. I need to go to it. And, we were huge Jane's Addiction fans. But that first lineup, oh my gosh, like I look back at it, it's like Susie and the Banshees, Rollins Band, Butthole Surfers, Violent Femmes, Ice-T with Body Count.
Right.
It still is like one of the best festivals I'd ever seen.
Your favorite artists, musicians that you've gotten to storytell through your photos?
Oh man, I mean the Bad Brains, obviously going on tour with the Bad Brains and being able to shoot them was amazing. I also am very stoked that Ian Mackay has become a friend through skateboarding. So going to the Discord house in DC and building a relationship and shooting him is beyond great.
When you get to spend time with those type of people and you realize like, oh yeah, you are everything that I thought you were, it's just like, yes.
I always say meet your idols. Like, always meet your idols. Don't be scared to meet your idols.
I love it, man. That is sound advice, and I can't believe we're both going to be on a Lollapalooza t-shirt together.
Is there merch? Do you know?
Yeah, there's merch. We get this. We get it locked. Trust me. I really appreciate you taking the time, man. It's fantastic to see you.
Well, much love. Thank you. This was super easy. Let's do it again. Let's catch up personally.
I love it, dude. You got me inspired.
I'm around.
All right, to be continued.